All right, let's dive into a place that's just brimming with devotion, unbelievable wealth, and maybe one of the biggest paradoxes you'll ever hear about, the Tirupati Balaji Temple. We're going to try and unravel some of its biggest mysteries. So let's just start with this number because it's pretty hard to wrap your head around. 2.5 crore rupees. That is the estimated total wealth of the Tirupati Temple. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire national budget of a lot of countries. Just wild. And yeah, we're not just talking about a wealthy temple. This is considered the richest temple in the entire world. We're talking over 11 tons of gold reserves sitting in banks. And that's not even counting all the priceless jewels and massive land holdings. And here it is. This is the great paradox, right at the heart of Tirupati. If this temple is the wealthiest on the planet, then why on earth is its main deity, Lord Venkateswara, famous for being the richest debtor in the cosmos? It's a question that takes us from finance to faith, and it's exactly what we're here to figure out. Okay, the richest debtor. How can a god who oversees just unimaginable riches also somehow be in debt? Well, to answer that, we've got to look way beyond the balance sheets and dive headfirst into the world of divine legend. You see, the tradition of donating all this incredible wealth to the temple, it's not just about charity. Nope, it's actually rooted in this incredible celestial story of love, anger, and a cosmic loan that, believe it or not, is still being paid back today. And we're about to get into it. This isn't just some random story. It's the core legend from the Puranas that explains exactly why millions and millions of people flock here to help their god. It all kicks off with a test of the gods. So the story goes like this. It starts when a sage, Brigu, is testing the Holy Trinity, and he actually kicks Lord Vishnu in the chest. Now, Vishnu stays totally calm, even apologizes, but his consort, goddess Lakshmi, she was absolutely furious at the insult. So furious, she left their celestial home, Vaikunta. A heartbroken Vishnu then comes down to earth to find her, and he takes the form of a man named Srinivas. It's here that he falls in love with a princess, Padmavati. But, coming from a poor family, Srinivas needed a ton of money for a big, lavish royal wedding. And what do? He takes out a massive loan from Kubera, the treasurer of the gods. And this is the crucial part. Lord Srinivas, who we now know as Venkateshwara, he vowed to repay every single coin with interest before the end of the current cosmic age, the Kali Yuga. And that is why devotees believe that when they donate money, gold, even their hair, they are personally helping their Lord clear his divine debt. But, the story of the divine loan, that's really just one piece of the puzzle here. The temple itself is a place where things happen that just seem to defy any kind of scientific explanation. It adds a whole other layer to its powerful legend. Okay, get a load of this, because this is where things get really mysterious. The main inner sanctum is kept cool, right? But the idol of Lord Venkateswara actually perspires, and priests are constantly wiping it down. The hair on the idol, it's said to be real human hair that never, ever tangles. There's an oil lamp that was lit over 1,000 years ago, and it just keeps burning. And maybe the weirdest part, all the offerings, the flowers, the milk, they all come from a secret village that nobody can find on a map.
And it gets even stranger. Priests who spend a lot of time alone in that main sanctum have actually claimed to hear the distinct sound of breathing coming from the stone idol, almost as if it were alive.
And this is what ties it all back to that original story. The legend says that after their whole fight, both Lakshmi and Padmavati eventually merged into the form of Lord Venkateshwara. And as proof, it's said that after the idol is given its ritual bath, a faint image of goddess Lakshmi actually appears on its chest. So what about the famous tradition of donating hair? Well, that practice is tied to another story where Lord Vishnu got injured on his head. A Gandharva princess named Neela Devi immediately cut off her own beautiful hair and magically placed it on his wound. Vishnu was so moved by her sacrifice that he declared that any devotee who sacrifices their hair, a symbol of their own ego and vanity, at Tirupati would have their wishes granted. So we have an ancient myth. We have modern miracles. But how does all of this actually work in the temple's operations today? And maybe more importantly, what does the future hold for this incredible sacred place? Well, the scale of devotion is just staggering. The temple gets somewhere between 300 and 400 crore rupees in cash every single month. And all that donated hair, It's cleaned, processed, and then sold on international markets for wigs and extensions, creating a whole multi-million-dollar business, all from this simple act of faith. So where does all this money go? The Temple Trust, called the TTD, uses a huge chunk of it for massive social welfare programs. We're talking about Annadanam, which provides free meals to up to 400,000 people a day. It also runs hundreds of schools, colleges, and hospitals, giving free education and healthcare. The rest gets strategically invested to make sure the temple's legacy just keeps on growing. But the story doesn't stop there. Beyond all the finances and the ancient legends, a modern myth has popped up. One that involves unconfirmed reports of a secret NASA project, supposedly codenamed Project Garuda, which may have discovered something absolutely extraordinary right under the Tirumala Hills. According to leaked documents from this alleged project, the findings are pretty mind-bending. They talk about an unidentified energy source that's growing beneath the temple. Rock samples that contain metallic elements found in meteorites, not from Earth. A massive cavern deep below, housing a pulsating, living energy source. And get this. Seismic instruments apparently picked up a low-frequency hum that mirrors the sacred Om chant. These same reports predict that if this energy source keeps growing at the rate it is now, it could create a magnetic storm so massive, so powerful, that it could disrupt global communications by the year 2035. And this brings us to one last huge question. Could this mysterious energy source, supposedly detected by modern science, be somehow connected to the ancient prophecy? Could this be a sign that the Kali Yuga is finally coming to an end, the exact moment when Lord Venkateswar's cosmic debt is finally, and maybe catastrophically, repaid? We'll leave you to think about that one.